Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3 with this Prussian campaign. So, as the ones that probably follow me on my community posts here on YouTube, if you haven't seen those, you better check them out. I'll usually post some info about, upcoming stuff, and if I want your opinion or anything, or rather quickly we go through the voting for different new campaigns and stuff like that, so it's always good if you're interested to keep tabs on that. With that said, if you follow that, then you know that this campaign also crashed for some god-awful reason. And so I fixed it. But I fixed it in the way that it wasn't like I went in there, found the bug, removed it, and then everything was working like some sort of computer master wizard. No, I did it the hard way, namely I reinstalled it, and I played up to the same point in the campaign roughly that we ended up, or that we ended off last time around. So what happened really with the bug was that I ended turn, it went through the turns, as soon as it was Austria's turn, something happened over here because the camera kind of shifts over to somewhere over here. Something happened and then blip, it ended. So that's why I had to do it. I had to do it to them, or they had to do it to me. Anyways, so I've played up, so it's a different campaign in sense, because a lot of different stuff has happened, but a lot of things stayed the same. Now, in this alternate reality, we never went to war with Denmark, because I did, as I should have done from the beginning, I declared war on Mecklenburg at the start, so Denmark never had the chance to ally with them, and everything was hunky-dory. And also, one of the things which I think caused a lot of problems was that I selected historical goal rather than world domination. I don't know if this is the case, but I think that with selecting historical, then it tried to enforce sort of historical alliances and stuff like that more readily, and that was kind of what broke down in between me and Great Britain, and led to all these weird stuff happening. Anyway, so I start off declaring war on Mecklenburg, on Saxony, on Oldenburg, right off the bat. And very soon after, France is also at war with me. But I keep everyone happy because I ally almost, I think, not in the first turn really. I think it's the second turn, because if you wait one turn, you get a mission as Prussia to ally with Russia, and you get 1,000 gold for that, so that's pretty good to wait just that one turn to ally with Russia, even though they'll say yes on the first turn. So I did that, and yeah, one of the things that's different this time around, as you can see, a lot of it is the same. Like, I have Dutch and the Belgians as my vassals. This time around we also have Hessians as our vassal, because France decided to invade them, and I saved them. I actually saved them twice, because France went to war with them while they were my vassal and destroyed them once more, and then I saved them once more. Also during this, I also actually saved this region. Turns out though, all the allied nations are not too happy with these guys, so I'm kind of thinking that could probably break down. What happened was, I was so afraid of the allies declaring war on them that I purposely sabotaged for them, and I gave them lots of gold and technology and stuff just for them to declare war on France, and so obviously screw them over like that. But I think we can try to go ahead and have them as a vassal. Also, yeah, Britain has tried to make a move on Hanover. Somehow, though, I managed to save that from the brink of disaster. They had a full stack ready to land in Hanover region. But somehow I managed to turn it around. My one thing, I think. And that was these dialectics. I improved that, and you get a 15% or 15 points in diplomatic relations. So that saved me, because I had about, when they broke the alliance, I had about, I think, 60 or something close to that. No, a little bit more, because I think I had 85 after this, so you can calculate. 70 then is what I had with Great Britain, and then when I got this, it actually saved me from war with them. And lo and behold, they had their navy here. Normally, I would think, I've seen this a lot of times. Normally, they just keep the navy there, and it's like nope, and then break alliance, and break alliance until they finally go to war. But this time around, as a miracle, like the gods saw that I'd put so much effort into this bloody campaign that they decided to grant me a wish, and the British fucked off. And I swore anyways, I tried not to. Right, so that happened. And what else? Nothing much, really. Well, on my way back from attacking here, and then I went out, I kind of took this region as well, and then Spain took it, which was interesting. So Spain controls this region, which at one point even had the alliance in between France and Spain actually break down, but it was one of those where it says it break down, but then because of like how the diplomatic AI thing is set up, they immediately get back together again, like a very abusive couple. So they get back together immediately after that breaking point. Yeah, and with that, I think we're ready to actually go into the campaign. We can see that, I mean, everything's kind of the same. There's a few differences. So I've laid out kind of overall what is different on this. And now we'll go through the armies I have. So I've got, if we start from, maybe we should start from the west actually. So from the west, I've set up, so we've got the prince here. A lot of the generals are still alive in this playthrough. So you'll see a few people resurrect. The prince is here, he's got an army, as we can see. Not too different from what I normally had, what he had before. The new things is when we saved the Württembergers, he actually got 2 light infantry from Württemberg, which are pretty darn good. They have 26 accuracy, so I kept those. So that was pretty nice. If I actually keep the region for myself, I might be able to recruit more of these, but I think I just like creating vassals for some reason. I just like seeing the map in all colorful crap, like what's it called, Holy Roman Empire style, even though it's exceedingly horrible idea. But yeah, I can't trade with them, so I don't know why I'm trying to create them anyways. And then Ostpreußischen Grenadier number 1. You can actually get 5 of those, where I've put 3 in this army. Then next to them we have Scharnhorst, which has come out, he's resurrected. If you remember last time, what happened was that he was kind of overrun there by the French. They took us by surprise and came in from the flank. I thought it was safe, and then I think actually the Dutch killed him. But he's back, and he's sort of the standard army as well. The difference here is that we got a few different troops that he normally wouldn't have, and those are troops from the times that I've liberated the Hessians. So he's got Schwarzenberg line infantry number 6, which aren't particularly good. So maybe I should actually move them over to be garrisoned somewhere. They're not very good. Then Frankfurter Leinenvoltigier number 8 battalion. So there's a lot of guys in those. And then this one, Roben line infantry number 6. Or yeah, it's one of the Rhinebund places. Also, yes, I should say here, you might notice that all the units are a bit smaller. To my incredible annoyance, about halfway through playing up this, I realized that I had the unit sizes on large and not ultra, so we don't get those huge battalions. which is a bit of a shame. And I realized that way too late. Then if we go further to the east, we've got Blucher here on some bridge in Flanders. And he's got pretty standard and nice army there as well. Nothing too new. We've got guard infantry, or guard artillery. So proper, not Landwehr 12-pounders, which he got. So really good accuracy. He's got Silesian musketeers. He's got Brandenburger infantry, König William III. He's got 4 of those. And then he's got the Ostprussian Grenadier. It's a pretty good army. A little bit weak on the cavalry, which most of my armies actually are. Then if we go further, we've got the Saxon army, and this time the Saxon army is to completion. And as you can see, the Prince of Hohenlohe is back. He's also resurrected, and he is now in control of the Saxon army. So this is entirely Saxon troops. Saxon Chevaliers, Cuirassiers, then we have got more guard infantry, or guard artillery. Why did I say infantry? I said that in the same time the other one. Saxon Schutzen, light infantry, 5 of those. Then the normal Saxon line infantry. And then we've got grenadiers. Now, I decided to, rather than put the 4 light grenadiers, I decided to split it up so we had 2 light grenadiers and 2 Coburg grenadiers. But I could, of course, have had either of those. Probably the light grenadiers, because they're better. But I wanted to spice it up, have a spiced up line. We like it spicy. And then if we continue further east, I'm building a new army. This one actually was an attempt to stop them invading Hanover, but that kind of fell through. But I might still need his army, so this got lots of elite troops. It's gonna have all the Guard Fusilier elite infantry in it, so it's super elite army. Super elite with heavy cavalry and all that stuff. So very nice army. And oh yes, now I actually forgot one army, which if we go further east, and then we go south, we have Gneisenau with an army which, I mean, it's rather standard army. There's a few units that are different than my normal setup, which are these, which looks like the normal musketeers, but they're actually East Prussian infantry, and they're elite infantry. So they're a lot better. Not actually that much better than normal line infantry. Well, they've got 4 extra points in everything, kinda. And then we have some West Prussian cavalry, which is also a new unit. And then, yes, the Light Hussar Regiment. So this, I don't know if we're gonna be able to break through here. The Russians have made some gains since I've, similar as the last time, I actually got them to declare war. Oh yes, before we go anywhere, or before I go into battle, this is also new. I have been able to recruit the navy, and this is the peak Prussian navy. It doesn't get better than this. So it's 2 38-gun frigate. Then we got 2 32, 2 24, and then 3 Prussian brigs. And then over in this one, I've got 3 sloops. Now you might wonder, why have I split the navies? Why don't I have all of them in the same? Well, that's because I guess the mod limits, I don't know if it limits if it's just the smaller navies that are limited, or if it's all navies that are limited, but you can actually only have 10 ships to a fleet. So I decided to split them. And also you might wonder, why did I put the Baird Admiral on the small shit ships, and we put this rat-looking guy on the big ones? Oh, he's got a nose just like his pet parrot. And that was just simply because the first guy, this guy was the best of my first selection. And then, of course, when I recruited him, that opened up a hole in the Admiralty that was then filled by this guy. So that's why I have that. So yeah, I think I've kind of explained everything, which probably took way too much time out of this episode. But I've got a pretty small battle for this first one, so I don't think we're gonna have too much problem with that. So there's multiple front lines that we're looking at, or basically two, and then we have an additional third one, which is a possible. So we have the one against France. Oh yes, I should say here, Great Britain actually done something here. So Wellington has invaded in. They had their own D-Day, and they just went across here, and they took Normandy. And they've actually filled it up with almost 3 full stacks, which I'm quite surprised that Napoleon hasn't really just moved everyone to push them out. Especially since it's got such a big presence of Spanish troops in this region, which is kind of funny. There's so much Spanish troops right here, and I believe that also they've got Spanish troops down here as well. So the Austrians have been pushed back quite a bit. But yeah, so I've got my Paris campaign, which will be conducted by these two, and then I have my kind of Holy Roman Empire campaign, which will be conducted by Blucher and this guy, Friedrich Louis. He's got such an enormous name. We'll just call him... Well, both of them are called Louis, right? Or Louis. Yeah, both princes are called Louis. It's Louis Ferdinand and Friedrich. I guess we call this one Friedrich then, and then the other one Louis. So with that said, what we're going to do today is we're going to concentrate on this one first. Because I don't want to go for the Paris one first. So we're going to concentrate on this one. And the idea is to cut the French off. So what we'll be conducting is this army, which will strike down, liberate this region, because I don't want to fight all of these French troops. So we push them away. And then we continue down and we'll liberate Switzerland. And then with the combined forces of the two armies, we'll try to take on this massive stack of Spanish troops. And that hopefully will help the Austrians to kind of retake these regions, because they won't really be able to... Well, the French will be able to recruit troops here, Bavarian troops, but they will be cut off, hopefully. Hopefully I can even go even further here, and possibly even liberate this region, so cut them off completely. Which will help the Austrians quite a lot. But I don't know if I should do that, because that will kind of stop Austria from... They will kind of run into a wall then, and they won't be able to go through and help me once we get... Well, we will see what happens. For this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. And, I mean, if Austria decides that they want to fight, then because I'm in such a good financial situation, I could isolate them from the rest of the allies, the same I did with Britain last time around. And, yeah, we will be able to... I think I can handle if shitty little Austria decides to attack me. And we've come to today's battle, which will be the Battle of Stuttgart. The second battle, even though you didn't see the first one, so I guess this is the first one. And it will be the first time we will conduct a battle with the Saxon army. So without further ado, let's go ahead and attack Stuttgart. And I already have a spy there, so we know what we're facing. So they have 3,000. We have roughly the exact same numbers. And do have artillery superiority, and I think I have a slight edge in grenadiers, but I don't think I have an edge in light infantry, which is going to be the main problem here, dealing with the superior French light troops. Also, I do think I have a cavalry advantage with all my heavy cavalry compared to the enemy. It's kind of a shame that the Saxons don't actually have any light cavalry. So, we'll be just concentrated to heavy cavalry. But there we have it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have this fight. I have decided to deploy my troops over on the left flank because we've got a very nice artillery hill which is close to spawn. So I'll set up right here for the artillery, and that will be like the focal point. Then we got the infantry ready to march forward. I've got the grenadiers ready to fan out on that side. We've got the cuirassiers going there, and the chevaliers going that way. So yeah, seems like a plan. Now when I think about it, I actually there was that plan of having 3 units of 12 pounders where I would space them out, so we would have one on the flank here, one in the middle, and one out there, which I guess I totally, you know, forgot about because of the crash and stuff. But there could be a possibility of me recruiting some extra cannon if I have time to get them up to the front. The thing which I've been thinking about is the problem just kind of, you know, I'll have to quickly be checking on them so they don't like shoot the troops next to them, because you can imagine a troop going in through the center, and if the line is not straight, or if something moves in a side shot like that, it's probably harder to see that that's gonna happen if the cannons are all over the place. But we'll see. I think it's worth at least one try for one of the armies, and I could definitely get rid of some of those like sharpshooter units, which everyone's so appalled that I keep losing them all the time. Almost worse than maybe my cavalry. No one actually says anything about the cavalry. I lose cavalry all the time, and they're like always like really broken down at the end of the battle or lost, but no one cares about them. But God forbid I'll misplace my light infantry, then I'll hear about it. So as we move forward here, we can go ahead and take a look at the units, because well, these are new. We haven't seen the Saxons before, and they have a very old, or an older style of uniform and stuff. So they haven't, like a lot of other troops you see, they have a clear French influence on their uniforms. The Saxons don't. They still have the kind of the old style. And then we go on to a unit, of course, that is very much a French inspired unit. So right, but I mean, not all of them. So the line infantry, yes, they are very much inspired by the French. But then we go on to a unit that isn't. Well, also, yeah, with the uniform. I guess only the hat. God damn it, my point just flew out right out the window. And yeah, it's the same with the Grenadiers. I thought I was gonna go, but here we got one unit that it's also just the hats that are different, are they? The uniform is very much the same. And then we've got the cuirassiers over here. Oh, the French are actually making some moves. They've got some Bardish and Dragoons. What I'll do is I'll actually hold fire, and we'll wait until they get closer. You know what? Probably should form square. But I did this fighting because the Ottomans, of course I say, they declared war on me, and once more they tried to invade me. And I was able to break their cavalry charges. They did straight on cavalry charges. I was able to break those just with militia, but I waited until the last moment to open fire. Gonna have these guys swing out, and this one move a bit forward. The cannons are in place, and they are up on the hill, so I don't think it's would be that bad to actually move the troops further forward. These guys can definitely, it's light troops, is it not? Volunteers, yeah. One of the, well, I think both, actually, both Chevaliers could be sent in to deal with these. And then, of course, another thing that people pointed out that I kind of forgot. I guess that's related to the cavalry, because I kind of forget to tell the line to hold fire before our cavalry charges. Now this is heavy cavalry, and yes, I was lucky. They were able to break through. Otherwise, a head-on charge like that usually ends up in an absolute catastrophe for me. Now we cannot continue because that position in the forest is really bad for us to charge into. Oh, as the cavalry is pulling back though, what do we have? The barges and dragoons are back. But the thing is, I can send in both my units to deal with them. So we'll have 2 units of Chevaliers dealing with this one Bardishan cavalry. The what was it called? The von Freistadt. And they're getting their ass kicked. However, we're getting flank fired, which isn't going too well for the 1st Regiment of Horse. I don't want to break off until we have broken these guys, which should be any second, but there we go, they're holding out way too long. Shit, we lost maybe a bit too much cavalry there, but I didn't want the enemy cavalry to win that fight. Right, the line infantry will advance to take position here. Then we need really the Saxon light troops to move in. And slowly, even though I'm pulling back on this side, these guys need to run into position and then back to fire at will. Got massive push here, so we need these guys to come closer as well. This is just armed citizenry, so we can push through those. And then the grenadiers can just push up through the forest, come up behind. Cuirassiers take the back, and they seem like they're trying to, I guess, kind of go around my flank here. So we'll have the Chevaliers turn out and then come swinging in. So I think just by cannon fire these guys broke down. The Saxons open fire. Gonna turn these guys a bit like so. Oh shit. I forgot that they probably had strung their troops out like that. So it wasn't the entire army. Do we dare another head-on charge? We'll have the cuirassiers go in and break that. No, I don't think we need that even. This could go bad. But I was kind of lucky again. They weren't really able to fire that bad, but I think they might need aid, so the cuirassiers will turn up from the side. Shit. The live grenadiers are under attack. And they need to turn. We kind of need the general out there to support. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get 3 of these light Saxons on that side, 2 on that side. As the enemy is breaking down here, I want the cavalry to deal with these, and then the line infantry needs to actually start moving forward. Unfortunately, the live grenadiers were caught I say they were caught off guard. I was caught off guard. I should have moved to deal with them immediately. The general is here though. Do not fear. We're gonna rally, and it looks like, I mean, the French attack here is mostly made up of militia, armed citizenry. We've got a Woutenberg line right here, but other than that, it's mostly, you know, shit units. I want the cavalry to sweep these guys away, and I want 2 line to hold the front there, and then these guys are gonna try to move like so. Oof, they lost a lot of troops were lost out of that unit. But continuous fire here is we're winning the day, even though we can't see it because of all the smoke. The Coburg Grenadiers firing onto the armed citizenry. Surprised we haven't broken these idiots before. Cavalry must be tired at this point, where they're running over the enemy. The line infantry to move towards that position. And you can kind of swing in.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
It's been a very long cavalry charge. I guess the heavy cavalry is better suited at surviving my my charges. These 2 line infantry will quickly move up on the flank, and then we can bayonet and shoot down the Badischen troops as they retreat. Ah, look at that. The Woutenbergers are back.
Sir, our general is under attack.
The Grenadiers will advance with the light infantry in tow, and then the line will move like so. Now I don't have any cavalry on this side, but they're all so tired. What I think we need is we'll move the Chevaliers over to this side, and we'll have the heavy cavalry slowly move forward with the line infantry. The Prince moving close to the line to make sure that they hold in the face of enemy fire. I think we'll have the Coburg Grenadiers. No, I think they'll fire it at the current angle. That they'll just fire left oblique and it will work out fine. The accuracy of the elite cannons is 70. So, and they're still within range of like everything, because they're 12 pounders. They seemingly received some fire, which I guess could be from the enemy artillery. Are they actually firing back? No, they're not even deployed. I guess a few random musket shots are coming their way. Right.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must.
The enemy general? Where was he? Oh, he rode into the heavy cavalry. Jean-Baptiste Jourdan. Voltigeurs. Well, the front line of the enemy is broken. The line infantry will move over there. We've got the heavy cavalry ready to set up here. What we have left is voltigeurs. So we definitely need the cavalry to come up close here. And we'll keep the pressure on the enemy as we're pushing them back. And then obviously, since the line has shifted, these guys will move towards here. Now I think the king is probably... the general is probably needed over here. Badischen cavalry. They do a head-on charge, but... yeah. That's what happens. I've got lots of Lightfoot doing us a hurt. However, we've got the cuirassiers. The guard cavalry has turned up and will turn on the flank. Oh no! Oh yes! They fired their volley and they exposed the position. They could have ambushed and destroyed the cuirassiers, but because of the timing, I mean, this day we cannot say anything other than that fortune really favors the Saxons this day. Keep up on those. Destroy them. I guess you'll go for the cannons, and then I think we can break the others just by musket fire. I will go ahead and inspire this line. Fight the good fight, or I guess aim true. Keep it up. I do believe I ordered you to charge that howitzer. There's not a lot of guys left in this line. It's so full of holes. It's a desperate last attempt by the French line to act as kind of a rear guard to stop us from chasing down. Oh, we actually took them out with a cannon shot. And there we... oh. I was about to say there we go, but there we don't go. Hold fire, I think we just shot our own there. It's just that one unit of volunteers left. And I'm pretty sure the cuirassiers will be able to break them. The forest will cover them a bit. And there's just not enough volunteers really to break them. And then the prince is right here to support them. And just as I was about to think that I'd won, another shit unit turns up. Oh, and it's just outside of range of the cannons. Let's hide, I guess, in this little ditch and wait for them to come here. Or one artillery piece is actually able to fire. What? No, another one. God damn it. Can't you just give up already? Right, the line infantry will move here then. The light will move here. And the grenadiers will move here. Well, at this point I don't actually dare charge with them, or at least not in any way that would be straight on. I think we do have a chance here. Now they're not even facing their way. When they're opening fire on the line infantry. They're turning though. We do have you now. You morons. Should have given up when you had the chance and left the field. Now just more of your troops are gonna die. That leaves, however, this unit of Lightfoot. Everyone will run to their position. And we'll end it today. It ends today. For the reserves. I think we almost entirely killed off that unit. No, a few of them got away. 7. The cannons still fire on them. Hold your fire. And we'll fill this forest with so much lead. They'll be able to start a lead mine. I'm surprised they even still fight, being outnumbered as much as they are, but then again, it is French troops and they are a bit overpowered, aren't they, a bit in the single campaign. But I guess that's how it's supposed to be. They haven't taken a major chunk out of any unit. Like, I haven't had any of those catastrophic losses that we had before, where French musket fire just rips up my lines. And there we go, finally. Victory's ours. And Württemberg, more importantly, is ours. Very good. So I thought this went actually very well. Only lost 650 men compared to the enemy, which of course lost their entire army, but not all of that is me killing them, because they would lose everyone since they were in the town. No one would escape. But I did kill 3,000 of them. Highest go to the Cuirassiers, which managed to get 400. Then the Chevaliers got about 300 each. The Live Grenadiers, the other one, not the one that got overrun, only lost 13 by but inflicted 172. And then Saxon Line, that's the normal line, and then the Schutzen did really well. So yeah, overall it went pretty well. The Prince even got 81 kills somehow, and he only lost 1 man. Then these guys, of course, didn't do too well. 120 lost, 64 remaining, and only 64 killed. Boom, and I am going to liberate this region. And the reason why I'm liberating it is mostly because I don't think in the long run I would be able to hold on to the region. And I of course want to continue campaigning, and I don't want to be stopped by the French just falling onto me as soon as I take this, so that's why I do it. And we're gonna move to deal a decisive blow at them at the over at Switzerland. I'm gonna move my spy over there. And these... oh, we got some more of these. Really good. I wonder if I should trade away some troops to put these guys... or what I could do is I could move to... we're not gonna spring these guys into action, so what I could do is I can move some of the worse here. These two, which aren't actually that good, move them away. And have them replaced by these light troops, which are really good. 26, that's on the level of the French troops. So they will be moved over here. And then we will strike here next. Or if I decide to move with Blucher against the mines of Nancy, a new nation arises. Or if I'm cheeky and go attack the Ottomans. I'm wondering if I should just bypass this. Bring the army through here. Open up for the Russians here instead. Or go sneak my way through and go directly for Istanbul. Oh, Istanbul has forts. That's gonna be nasty. Does this place... no, this place doesn't have forts. Because this... I mean, there's 3 full stacks of Ottomans. That's a massive battle. But Then again, I take a pretty massive region if I do that. This episode has gone on long enough. So with all that has been said here, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!